The first misconception is to ask the question, what else could Israel have done after October 7th? The question that precedes it is, a population has been caged in to a concentration camp for 20 years, and they had no past, no present, no future. Half of that population is children. 80% of that population was expelled from Israel in 1948, and their descendants. They're a refugee population. So before you ask the question, what should Israel have done after October 7th? You should be asking the question, what should the people of Gaza have done after being locked up in the concentration camp for 20 years? What were their options? What were their alternatives? And the second misconception is the one that you read every day. That is, they call it the Israel-Hamas war. Everybody uses that same title, the Israel-Hamas war. It's not an Israel-Hamas war. It's an Israel-Gaza war. It's a war against the whole population of Gaza. Does it include the combatants, Hamas? Of course. But does it end there? Of course not.
There's been a lot of talk about settler colonialism as a framework for understanding U.S. history and also for understanding Israeli history. I think that settler colonial ideas and analysis are pretty deeply rooted in the U.S. educational system, which certainly makes it easier to just kind of transfer that narrative to Israel and say, yes, these poor white Europeans are so under threat by the people they've dispossessed and displaced, and that their very existence depends on denying the existence of those they've dispossessed and displaced.
When you ask what's the biggest misconception in our understanding of the Israel-Palestine conflict, it's the same misconception that all Americans suffered. We were stealing their land. They weren't stealing our land. We were stealing their country in the case of Texas, not vice versa.
You think about the contradictions when we study US history, like how fundamental ideas about freedom are in understanding, the United States is the land of the free, and, that the United States was founded on principles of freedom and equality. It's like, no, it wasn't. The United States was founded on principles of dispossession and slavery. How can you say it was founded on principles of freedom? It was founded on principles of settler colonialism.
And I think the biggest misconception is, in the grand scheme of things, the big picture, who is the victim and who is the perpetrator?